What's going on, gang? Okay, tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about calories and intake calculations. Now, each of you, since you've ordered a workout program, which I'm assuming should have arrived, depending on which day that you made your order. I believe if everybody did theirs the Tuesday before 4th of July, it should be arriving pretty soon, or you should at least have it. But depending on which workout program you got, it should come with a book that talks about your workouts. This right here is P90X3. So a description of the fitness guide and then a description of the nutrition guide. Each of these books should contain a nutrition quiz, which is basically a series of calculations to help you determine what number of calories or what portions you should be intaking based off some certain questions and calculations that they ask you to run through. And this just helps you get that ideal range for whether you're trying to gain weight, lose weight, maintain, what have you. And so I wanted to kind of give everybody a little bit of some details as to how that goes down when you do these calculations. And FYI, just remember, some people have the mentality of wanting to eat lower number of calories and do extra workouts. You have to be really careful with doing that and going outside of the scope of these calculations. So let me go through my calculations real quick. This right here is the calculations for P90X3, and real brief, this is what I'll be doing. I'm doing P90X3 in combination with PiYo. So per the P90X3 calculations, because I'm a male, I get 2 points. My weight is between 131 and 160 right now. Right now I weigh 153, so I get 2 points for that. My activity level, and this is the activity of a regular day. At first I thought moderate, but you know what? I do sit around a lot during the day, so I'll give myself a slacker point for that. So that's -1 point. And any additional modifiers, which with doing P90X3, I'm looking to pick up some weight, maybe about 10 pounds or so, and I give myself a +2. So when you add these numbers, 2 + 2 - 1 + 2 equals 5. And category 5 in P90X3 is eating plan D, which is the 2,500 calorie plan. For those that paid attention when I was doing T25, I believe I was eating in about the 1,600 calorie range. So I'll be eating about 900 more calories a day with this plan. And the plan requires it because of the type of workout and exercises that you're going to be doing during this time. Which brings me back to the other point I was trying to make with going outside of the scope of the calculations. None of these calculations should have you eating below 1,200 calories. I think the 21-day fix may get the closest with just at 1,100. And they want you to be careful for that. It's 21 days, so they don't want you doing that for a long period of time. So there's an important part of eating too much or too little. Just because you work out 2 or 3 times a day doesn't mean that that's the best thing for you, because your calorie intake may not be high enough. If you have a lot of output and not so much input, your body goes into what's called starvation mode. And whenever your body goes into starvation mode, it basically thinks you're starving. So what will happen was, even though you may be working out more, you're eating less, but your body will retain all the fat it can because it's in a famish mode. Because some people in certain parts of the world go 2 or 3 days without eating, and that's why they tend to start having buildup of fat around their stomachs. It's just to help their body maintain and stretch out the nutrients for long periods of time. So don't get caught up in trying to minimize those calories, but also remember that you can't overdo it on a certain amount of calories. Realistically, I shouldn't be eating in the 3,000 calorie range with this current workout, because I don't think PiYo is going to be that strenuous on me to bump my calories up too far. So 2,500 to 2,700 calories is where I need to stay. That's in order to get the gains that I want. I want to build some muscle, and I want to make sure I keep the fat down. And living proof to that thing, because I know a lot of times people, whoever's done Weight Watchers or something like that, they really get into counting points, and I want you to be really careful with that because of a couple of things. When I did P90X, I think since those workouts were at an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, it had me eating in the ballpark of about 3,000 calories, 3,500 calories per day. And it looked like a ton of food, and I was skeptical. I didn't understand how I was going to lose weight eating that much food, but to my surprise, I lost a ton of weight. I built muscle from eating according to the regimen. Trust the regimen. Give it a try. Let it do its thing. These people have done a lot of scientific calculations. They've run a lot of tests to find out what works for everybody. So give the calculations a chance. and let them work for you. Don't lose confidence and don't be shaken within the first 30 days, because a lot of times you won't see the results you want immediately. You have to work for them, and as you get the ball rolling, then you'll start to see improvements, and they'll start to happen exponentially. They'll sneak up on you. You won't believe it. Another thing I want you to consider is, this is a nutrition book, and it also contains details on the types of foods that you should be eating. And all of these workout programs will come with these, but pay attention to the way that they categorize these foods. They break them down into fruits, vegetables, carbohydrates, and proteins, but they tend to list them from the best of those foods to the worst of those foods. So you want to try to eat from the top tier of the food categories. Perfect example, jicama is a good carb, but you have to be careful because it tends to be more sugary. You're better off eating quinoa, which is more towards the top tier of the carbohydrates. My idea is I want to get the best results out of it, so I want to eat in that top tier to make sure I'm giving my body the best things. Does that mean I can't eat jicama? No, it doesn't mean that, but I can kind of work it in every once in a while, but I want to keep it to a minimum, and I want to eat from the top tier. The only time I mix up anything below the top tier is to give myself a little bit of variety so I don't get bored with the food. So keep that in mind. As long as you pick those foods from the top tier, you'll keep having positive results. And if anybody has any questions on foods or certain categories, feel free to give me a holler. I have several different workout programs, so I've kind of learned how to pick and choose which types of foods that I want to select for my eating regimen, and I can help you do the same thing. So keep that in mind. If you have your books, as for a little assignment for me, I like you to go into your nutrition guides, run your calculations for yourself, and simply post which caloric range that you fall in. So, list which workout you're doing and list the number of calories that you're supposed to intake during the day. And it'll just give me a feel for what exactly I'm observing. If we run into some snags with how your body is either losing or gaining weight, I can provide better detail if I get a better understanding of what range you should be eating in. And that's it for tonight. We're not too far off from beginning the workouts. I'm getting pretty excited about it. This upcoming Sunday is what I call sweat day. That's the day that we first start sweating. Some of us will be working out on Sunday. Some of us will actually start on Monday. So I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm excited about this double regimen thing I got going on because I really want to challenge myself. I want to make sure you guys challenge yourselves too. And this should be a really exciting group. And I'll talk to you guys soon.